Welcome to CSN the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-host, Dre Nazario and Malik Hampton. How are y'all doing this wonderful morning?
Good, man. Another week to talk sports. How's my co-host doing?
Y'all know me, blessed and highly favored, blessed and highly favored. Great day to be here, good day to pod, all of that, all of that. I cannot complain on this wonderful Saturday morning. How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, as you would say. Definitely doing better now that I'm talking to you two. And like bro said, it's another great week to talk sports, man. It's been full swing playoff basketball. So of course I've been tapped into that. My Yankees, we've been on a losing streak this week. That's just the ups and downs of baseball, man. And speaking of baseball, we here for the little league up here in the press box, getting ready to lock in for the day as we got a full slate of games today. So I'm ready, man. And all facets. Let's get to it.
Like you said, brother, we in the midst of playoff basketball. So my first question for you all is with KD, LeBron on the brink of elimination and Steph missing the playoffs, is this the beginning of the new era? Um, Changing of the guard.
Man, that's a great question, first and foremost. As much as it pains me to say Leak, because I'm a diehard Laker fan, we love Braun, we love the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I want us to continue to compete. I won't necessarily say it's the end of an era for the Lakers because I know for sure it's been reported that we're going to land another superstar this summer. And, hopefully that's somebody we can build with LeBron and AD. So I do think it is the changing of a guard. I won't say end of an era per se, because KD is still on the team that has two other superstars outside of himself. And I think Steph and the Warriors, I think they're going to make a move as well. So I know that the answer is kind of twofold because, yes, it is changing of the guard, excuse me. With Anthony Edwards dominating the way he is, man. Y'all got to think if Ja Morant was healthy, y'all got to think how he had the Grizzlies looking last year, being one of the top teams in the West. So I'm not overlooking that. When he's healthy, the Grizzlies are elite. So I do think it's the changing of a guard. I won't say it's end of an era per se, because the aforementioned names are going to be starters on the Olympic team. You know what I'm saying? KD, Braun, Steph, all of them are going to be starters on the Olympic team. So it can't be quite the end of an era yet if they still, considered to be the top players in the world, so much to the point where they're still starters. So it's definitely, Shea performing the way he is, being the MVP. Like I said, Anthony Edwards, those are definitely two candidates to be the face of the league sooner rather than later. So it's definitely an interesting time, but it's I won't say end of an era, but it's definitely changing of a guard though. Changing of the guard for sure. With these new faces, this new talent, these new guards that we have, new superstars. So yeah, man. What you think though, League City?
It's the end of the era, man. Um, I think it's pretty evident to see. It's a young man's game. Uh, and honestly, that's why I just been, preaching, or been so hard on the young dudes because I knew, this time was coming as far as, Steph, KD, Bron, everybody, you know, towards the end of their career. I knew they was gonna have to pass the torch, you know what I'm saying? And some young dudes do ball, some of the names you mentioned. But then like, some of the other stuff we talk about, like, them just putting these dudes on pedestals too early and just, praising bad basketball. That's why I always just been, so down on the product because it is the changing of an era, man. Um, um, even with that Olympic thing, like it's going to be all of their last time playing on the Olympic team. So it's really just the end of it all, honestly. Of course, they'll be in the league probably in a couple more years, handful more years, but yeah, it's definitely the end of an era, man. And they need to find some more hoopers, to push the product with some of the young stars we got coming and emerging right now in the playoffs. But it's definitely the end of the era, man, for sure. Hopefully we can see one of these people make a run, in these latter years, this handful of years. But it's definitely the end of an era. It's the young dudes' time now, for sure.
For sure, I definitely agree. And to that point, for me as a basketball fan, as a fan of the um names that we just mentioned, LeBron, KD, Steph, it's kind of made it hard for me to watch this playoffs. Not that it's not exciting basketball, or not that it isn't good. It's just like I don't know, kind of like living through like a grieving period, I guess, where it's like it ain't the same. Basketball just isn't the same. It's not the same as it used to be when we grew up. I feel like the playoffs aren't as exciting when you think about two uh Hall of Famers being down 3-0 in the playoffs. That is almost like unheard of, you know what I'm saying, and another Hall of Famer not making the playoffs. So to me, it's made it kind of hard to, lock into those games. But shout out to the young guys, Anthony Edwards, Shea, who are leading their teams in phenomenal ways. But I think Ant does have the potential to be the face of the league just with his personality and how good he is. I don't know if they'll let it happen, with Luca on Dallas. I think they kind of want to make him the face of the league, but I think Ant definitely has that potential um to take over. But the next question, and it kind of goes into what I just said. Did we expect the playoffs to be as competitive as they currently are, with the Pacers up on the Bucks and the Mavs up on the Clippers? I'll go ahead and again, I'm just touching on it. I think it's just different because you think of how star-studded the Clippers are, and you think about how star-studded the Bucks are, but that goes to that last point. It's just a passing of the torch, and to me, it's still not like exciting basketball. I watch Kawhi. It looked like he doesn't even want to be out there. So it's just a different era. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I do think, especially once we get to, the second round and, the Eastern Conference championship, excuse me, Eastern Conference finals, and the Western Conference finals, I do think it'll continue to elevate as far as, competitiveness. It's definitely tough times though right now. It's hard to watch because people are missing, right? Like for the Bucks, for example. Yeah, the Pacers are up 2-1 on them, but Giannis has been hurt. So you got to think if he was healthy, would they be up 2-1? I highly doubt that, right? Now this Mavs Clippers series, now that is competitive and interesting. And y'all got to think, the Mavs clipped them a couple years ago in the playoffs, right? When they made that run and faced the Warriors back when they won it. They faced the Warriors that year. People may not remember in the Western Conference Finals, speaking in reference to the Dallas Mavericks. So I do think it will remain competitive. It's definitely unique, but I love what I'm seeing over there on the Eastern Conference side. Philly and New York is going at it. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean to not mention his name because he's been hooping. Shout out to Tyreek Maxey, Joel Embiid, man. I don't know what that is that he just been diagnosed with, Drea Malik, but they said it's ball palsy or whatever it's called. I'm not too familiar with, what that means, but the fact that he's still out there, competing and performing at a high level just says a lot about who he is as a man, you know what I'm saying? So definitely think it will remain competitive and just continue to elevate as the rounds advance. But it's definitely, it's it's weird. I will say, well, not weird, but it's just new for me to see, the Thunder at the number one seed really competing. The Nuggets, I know they won it last year, but they just look real dominant. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. They look like a powerhouse. We're not used to that. I thought for sure, the Lakers would be able to clip them boys and get them right. And I'm not saying that we can't, but it's going to be a tall task. So, but yeah, to answer the question in its entirety, it'll continue to be competitive, I think. What you think though, League City?
Real quick, Leak, I want to help my brother out. It's Bell's palsy, and it's a sudden weakness in the muscles, so it can be caused by like some type of viral infection. So that's why he can only blink one eye.
Got you. Thank you for that.
Um, I have been surprised how competitive it has been. Only because just how they officiate in the regular season now, um, and just how like I've been saying, just preaching bad basketball and how they've been pushing it forward. I didn't expect for them to switch up the officiating like they always have done in the playoffs. I just didn't expect it, uh, in these times that we got going on. So I've been pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you. I think it's been a bunch of good bump in the playoffs, and I enjoy watching, you know, a bunch of the games, to be honest with you. But outside of that, I mean, I don't got nothing else on it. I've enjoyed it. I think it's been a good bump. I think it's going to continue to be a good bump. And it is a bummer, that I mean, Joel went for 50, last night, but he is out there playing hurt. Giannis is hurt. You got a couple, stars hurt. So that dude, you would, hope to see or wish to see everybody out there playing. But I've definitely been pleasantly surprised, and I've enjoyed it myself, to be honest with you, because they letting them play, but they also letting them play too much to where it can look like a bad product as well. The speaking on the ending of the Knicks and Sixers game, game two, the league came out talking about they should have called a timeout because Mike Malone wanted one, and they should have called foul on Brunson holding Maxey, pulling him to the ground. Like D'Lo getting smacked in the face the other night, and them overturning it like you can't see him get smacked in the face. And then them saying like it happened after the shot. When has that ever mattered? Like, you get hit regardless during the shot, after the shot, doesn't matter. It's a foul. So yeah, I mean, it, it's looked different for sure, but I've enjoyed it, just because they let them play like how they have in previous years in the playoffs. So I ain't got no quarrels.
That's a good point you make there, brother. We're gonna keep it on the West Coast for just a little bit. We've been showing the West Coast a lot of love this episode. But we talked about Anthony Edwards. If he leads the T-Wolves to win this series against the Suns, do you think he has a case for the best two guard in the league?
He the best two guard in the league right now, for real, for real. That's the way I see it. He played both. He played both ends, man. Don't nobody play both ends like him at that position. And just being so young, being the unquestioned, vocal and like leader of the team, like game wise as well. Like it's just and special. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a two guard better than him right now.
Y'all think that's
Period.
Michael Jordan's son? He kind of looked like him a little bit.
Hey,
He
hey,
definitely looked like him.
he definitely looked like it, cuz I was looking last night. Like, yo, is
Yeah,
that true? Bro, what are the
he
odds?
de-
Like, cause I know, have y'all seen that
Your daddy boy.
have y'all seen that meme where now I don't know if it's true, but they said Jordan was knocking them down in Washington, right? And they said this is back in like what they say, '01, and then he was born in '01. So they like, I don't know. I don't know, man. They do look alike.
He looked more like Jordan than his own kids look like.
Facts.
word. That's the crazy part about it.
Word. I'm gonna lose my mind if it comes out that that's Jordan's son. Like real talk, that'd be hilarious. But I love Malik, man. I love the energy, bro. Real talk. I agree with you. I got a lot of respect for Devin Booker. So let me go out there and start my premise by saying that. I think he's a great player as well, great shooter, very smooth. He's been doing it for a long time, for years, consistently. So I don't want to take anything away from that man. But to the points you just made, bruh, how stout he is on defense and how gifted he is offensively, just from a physical standpoint, how he can attack the basket. But he's super athletic. Like he's super quick. I was watching him last night. Like his dribble package, he athletic, man. He real quick. You could tell like they was nervous to guard him, like his like quick twitch moves are elite. I'll give it to him for sure. So with that being said, man, I do think Anthony Edwards has take the crown as the best two guard in the league. Him winning this series was just stamped that though. They didn't guard each other too much. I would have liked to see them, go head to head more, but you got to think Bradley Beal's a two guard. I know it's positionless basketball, but Bradley Beal's a two guard. So technically, he was matched up with the two and he was handling his business. So I'm gonna get a nod to Edwards for sure, man. Proving to the point that it's, the beginning of a new era, the changing of the guard, the younger guards, the younger players, the younger tenured players are now, the best at their positions in the league. It's like a similar thing with Jason Tatum. So
For sure, for sure. I definitely agree with you all. Um, Again, keeping it on the West, do we think the Lakers should blow up the team once their season ends this year?
absolutely.
I
Absolutely,
think
man.
so. So
I don't like what I saw from D'Lo the other day. Although he was balling in game two. And Dre, Malik, y'all played. And I coach, I played. I'm not jacking someone not being a part of the huddle when we going over something. I tell my kids that. So, to see that on a professional level, that just tells me, A, you either over there pouting or B, you giving up. Regardless if it's a combination of both or either or, it's not a good look. Uh,
yeah,
especially
he,
coming from the point guard, Dre and Malik. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
immature too. He over there biting his nails and stuff.
Come on, bruh. You score 0 points. I get you frustrated. I get you frustrated. But how about channeling that energy and showing faith and keeping your teammates encouraged? Understand what I'm saying? And showing that, I'm still going to bounce back. I'm still in the right frame of mind. You know what I mean? I just didn't like that. So I'm not, of course, under this assumption that we need to blow up the team because of how he reacted, at the end of the game the other night. I just don't like how the roster is currently constructed anymore. I did at the beginning of the season, but man, we need more ball handlers. We need more playmakers. We need better consistent shooters, scorers. I would like to keep Rui and Austin Reeves. Outside of that, everybody can go. So the four that I like to keep is Bron, AD, Rui, and Austin Reeves. Outside of that, everybody can go. No disrespect. So that's just my logic on it. Hopefully, I know we talked last episode about upcoming free agents. I would love for us to get, DeMar DeRozan or Buddy Hield. I know DeMar getting older, but he's so consistent, leaking Dre, especially in that mid range. I just think it'd help us have a consistent 20+ scorer to compare with Bron and AD. But we'll see what happens. But that's my logic. What you think, though, Leak City?
Uh, I think they should blow it up and fire Darvin Ham. Um, I'm probably in agreements with the four players that you said keep, but other than that, they can all go, man. The experiment's over, including with the coach, man. That's really all I got on it. What D'Lo did was egregious for sure. Can't be on your phone while the team in the huddle and all that. That just looks wild. Yeah. So
Looks crazy, man.
Yeah, he gonna mess up his stock for another team that may take a chance on him. I
word.
mean, we don't know the situation as far as like what was said or whatever, but you still a professional and you should always carry yourself as such. Even, you getting cussed out in the huddle. I'm gonna still be in the huddle, you know what I'm saying? I might be pissed off, but I'm gonna still be at least in the huddle. I might say some stuff under my breath or something, but I'm gonna be in the huddle. And again, it's not about you. And it's not like they was taking shots away from you. You just ain't hitting. So didn't Bruh shoot like 20 times in the first game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whose fault is that? You can't be mad at nobody but yourself.
Nobody about yourself, bro. So, and my thing too, and I saw what Draymond said on his platform. I don't look at it as AD was throwing Darvin Ham under the bus. I mean, you got to think he genuinely saying like, there's sure what he's basically saying is, we have a game plan. Malik and Dre, they making adjustments. He's not making adjustments off of their adjustments, right? So there's stretches, and it's obvious when you watch him. There's stretches in the game where it don't look like they know what they're doing. That's frustrating. That cannot happen, especially when you passed on J Kidd, when you passed on Ty Lue, when you let Frank Vogel go. This hire had to be a slam dunk, and it's unfortunate that it didn't turn out to be that way. Because I respect bro as a black man, and I love the stuff he says. It's very inspirational. But what about the schematic? The X and O's part. I know y'all seen that clip where he was drawing something up on the play on his on his board, and he wasn't even drawing nothing up. He was just writing names. I know y'all seen that. So it's like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Y'all would have been better off giving Phil Handy the job, man. For real. We passed on a lot of coaches, Lee and Dre. So it's frustrating as a Lakers fan to see this right now and to see the lack of adjustments when Ty Lue is out there, Jay Kidd is out there, Frank Vogel is out there. Shoot, even JJ Redick about to get a job. Not saying I would want him to be a coach, but it's crazy, man. All the coaches that are out there that, have came through the hiring process, and we didn't get a slam dunk on one. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. We move forward.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to that, or we could talk about it now. But I think the answer is pretty obvious. The team is down 3-0 for the second time. We talked about the comments that AD has made. Do we feel like Darvin Ham has lost the team? And like I said, I feel like the answer is pretty obvious. His coaching decisions has been in question the entire season, the entirety of the season. So I'll just go out on a limb and say it's probably gonna be his last season as a head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not gonna say in general, but because they just seem to recycle coaches around, which is weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the formula that owners think they may have over another organization, but yeah, to me that answer is pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. And you hit it smack on the head. He got to go. All he do is keep his hands in his pockets, man.
Yeah. Last question for the Lakers. Do we think they get a win tonight? Or do they get swept for the second
No,
time?
Brian trying to go on vacation. It's over.
Yeah, as
D'Lo and
much
them out of there. It's over.
as
Yeah,
much as I
Peter.
would love to see them fight, it depends on how the game goes. But y'all, Malik, I know you've been watching the Dre as well. Y'all see, like, we'll start the game hot. You know what I'm saying? Then when they go on the run, make their adjustments, it's like we cannot counter that. And then we just get behind. It happened in game 2, and it happened the other night. In the second quarter, we had them up double digits. Boom, you look away, or go use the bathroom or go get some food. You come back, we down 10. Like, it could change that quick. Um, so yeah, I definitely think he's lost the team. And with that, they probably not gonna fight for bruh. Just being completely honest. You know what I'm saying? You'd love to see them go down swinging, but just due to the lack of faith that they have in him, I think it's from like a competent standpoint. It's a unique situation, man, because of course he is competent, right? He had to be in position to get this job, but it's like real live, like coach, like I've seen clips where LeBron just looking like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't know, it's crazy. Um, it's crazy. I feel like, and I know I said this on the pod before, I would have liked for us to kind of nip this in the butt when we had an opportunity to do so earlier in the season. And we didn't. So this is what we got to deal with. But yeah, I love to see us fight tonight, but I don't know. I don't expect us to win. And I hate to say that because I'm not accepting defeat, but it's gonna be tough.
You got anything to add, Lee?
They losing.
It's over with. It's over with. For the last question, on the NBA, or surrounding the NBA, we're gonna take it to the East Coast. Do we feel like the Heat have a real shot to beat Boston? If not, who does?
I don't think they'll beat Boston without Jimmy, to be honest with you. But they do got a shot, as you've seen. They just stole a game. Um, Eric Spoelstra be coaching, man. You got
Facts.
to respect it, man. He's a legendary coach at this point. Just some of the stuff he's done with the rosters, the different type of rosters he's done it with. You know, um, I think they definitely got a shot. They play hard, and Missoula don't make adjustments. The Celtics, all they do is shoot threes. You know how I go. You live by it, you die by it. So I think that he can make it real competitive. I don't think they will win, but I think they do got a shot just because Spoelstra will be coaching. He's actually making adjustments. He's actually instilling confidence in people. He's actually running sets and stuff. So you got players you never even heard of before, in double figures against the number one seed. That's coaching right there. That's all coaching. So yeah, I think they got a shot just because of that. They be roughing the Celtics up for some reason.
Yeah, for sure. And we seen them, kind of make a playoff run last year in a similar situation. So, with odds against them, to Lee's point, Eric Spoelstra is a hell of a coach. I seen a meme or a stat the other day that he hasn't won Coach of the Year. And he has what, 3 championships? No Coach of the Year, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I agree with Leak. I don't know if they take the series, but they definitely have a chance to do so. Or at least, take it to the take it to 6, 7 games. Make it interesting. Because they play defense too. That's one thing we can't mention. They definitely play defense. So you got something to add, Kay? You good?
Nah, I'm good, man. Y'all got it. Y'all hitting all the points. What you got next for us?
My fault. I was muted. Last question of the day. The NFL draft has been going on the last few days. Just tell me some of your key takeaways from the draft so far.
Yeah, Lake. I know we discussed this on the side before. We're gonna really fully tackle this topic in reference to the NFL draft the next time we gather to record. Just to quickly touch on some of the things that I've witnessed and observed in the draft, man. First and foremost, that first round went exactly it was real predictable. I feel like the first half of the round, right? I didn't expect Kool-Aid McKinstry to drop to the second round, although and that's Alabama starting quarterback, was like top rated DB coming out of high school, coming out of Alabama. Um, but at the same time, I think that's a good look, him being drafted to the Saints. Uh, that just shows your point, Malik. You had stated before, you was like the first person I can honestly admit to openly say that you think Terrion Arnold was better than Kool-Aid. And, of course, scouts and NFL teams agree with you because Terrion was a first rounder, so shout out to him. But outside of that, man, I like what I saw from the Bears. I'll be all the way honest. I love the weapons that they supplied Caleb Williams. I think that's super dope, super exciting. Um, I love what the Giants are doing, trying to build around Daniel Jones. I like what they have going on with that. And yeah, man, congratulations first and foremost to, everybody that has been drafted so far. But it's from what I've witnessed, and my biggest takeaways, man, that's a lot of great skill positions across the board, especially at DB. This is a very deep draft at the lineman spot. The quarterbacks, I love the top quarterbacks that got taken. I knew the Broncos was going to draft Bo Nix. I was telling my colleague that in the office. I just had a feeling that would happen. And yeah, man, it's been an exciting draft, a good draft. Hopefully my Niners continue to, elevate the talent on the roster. We got one of Malik's boys, a Florida Gator. How you pronounce his name? Ricky Purcell's Lake. Pearsall, Pearsall. That's a smooth route runner. Someone that we're gonna be able to utilize in the slot and outside. I know we shocked a lot of people getting a receiver, but don't expect Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel to be traded from the 49ers. So yeah, man. It's been a great draft, an exciting draft, and I can't wait to fully talk about it next week when we, fully talk about it and fully cover it. I know I said we was gonna have a mock drafts for y'all. Definitely dropped the ball on that, but we definitely going to do a full coverage on it next time we gather. So that's some of my biggest takeaways is just how diverse the talent is throughout the draft, across various positions. And you can say that about any draft, but it really shows proof, like, to the receivers that got drafted in the first round, when they got drafted in the first. I'm talking like early first round picks. Same thing, you know what I mean, with the quarterbacks, edge rushers, all the tackles that's been taken, the DBs that's been taken. It's a very diverse, talented draft class. So
Yeah, it's been a nice, few early rounds of the draft. Probably, some of the biggest takeaways, just briefly touching on it. I think the Falcons shocked everybody taking Phoenix at 8. A lot of controversy behind that pick, because they just paid Kirk Cousins to come, run the show. I kind of went back and forth about it, myself, but I mean, it kind of makes sense. Kirk Cousins isn't going to have you in a position to, draft that high again, or, you probably have to move some assets to get that high up in the draft to get a quarterback whenever his time is up. And they'll get a 5th-year option on Phoenix, so they'll have him 3 years under contract if they want him, per se, before they got to pay him. And that's with him taking over. So, I mean, I think it was a good pick. I mean, I think it was a smart pick. They'll be set up, to at least have good, decent quarterback play going forward, whenever he does take over the reins. They may or may not be able to take advantage of the contract, but, that's a problem for a later time. Other than that, really liked what the Bears have done. They took advantage of their situation. And yeah, like Kay said, it's just a deep draft. It's other dudes to talk on, touch up on, but yeah, it's just been interesting to see how some of these teams have moved. Especially in that first round for quarterbacks. I think there was a couple reaches we'll also talk about, but definitely a bunch of moves. Exciting draft. I've been glued to it. That's all I got though, Drizzy.
That's all I got for y'all. Brother, take us out.
y'all got anything y'all want to state? Any unreadiness? Anything y'all want to address?
I'm good.
We good? All right, man. Well, as always, to our listeners, we appreciate the support. Please continue to like, subscribe, view, and share the content. It's your boy KVZ. I'm with Leak the God and Drizzy, and we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Peace.